Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Austin.
I'm Brennan.
We are the co-founders of Sleke, bringing you the mobile operating system for real life.
So, what do we got going on today?
It's been a busy last couple months. We have been a little MIA, been building in the background, just with everything that's been going on. We actually just finished up a 7-week pre-accelerator program, and this was sponsored and put on by Generator. Our little section was called gBETA. A pre-accelerator is no money, not in exchange for equity. It is mentorship, mentor swarm meetings, one-on-one business coaching, and just general connections and external accountability. And this was extremely helpful. It's supposed to prepare you for an accelerator program, which is when you take off or when you take on money in exchange for equity. We're not quite there yet. We are waiting for Q1 of next year to start taking on money. But that's just what we've been doing. It's been keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, it has. The biggest change, rewinding a little bit, the biggest event since we last gave our Sleek Speaks and what kicked off the crazy period that has been this last few months is we launched on May 4th. And we had a super fun, community-based launch party. Do you want to say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we're able to support local artists, local musicians, a pizza place that was in the space, as well as a local photo booth company. We got to just go hang out with friends, hang out with family, hang out with different people from the community, and really just show what we're all about, which is doing cool stuff, which this whole event was kind of based around. It was exciting because we can show what it's like to just hang out and do stuff in the community.
Yeah.
And be able to help enable that and just go a little bit over what we're doing and just celebrate. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So since that, with that being said, that was the start of the gBETA program. Was literally 2 days later, 3 days later, went to the gBETA program, and that's when we had this whole addition to what we've been doing.
Yeah.
So for one example, we did a lot of changes in marketing. This is something that we got from a lot of the different mentors who came to speak with us, was switch from features-based marketing to values-based. You want to go into that?
Yeah. So what we had before when we launched was we understood Sleke to be just a set of features. We knew that we wanted to make something to help people unplug from the phone and get back into real life, but we weren't so clear on what was the best way to communicate that so people could hear it. So what we saw starting at the launch is if you went to the website, it would be like a gray gradient, very features heavy. So for example, for the all-in-one messaging app, that's literally what we said. Hey, we have an all-in-one messaging app. And then we went into a little bit more details. So if I was somebody that had no idea about the project, number one, I wouldn't trust the website because it looked super sketchy. But then, I'd get to the messenger and I'd be like, all right, what does an all-in-one messaging app do for me? We evolved over time to get to a point where we put our values forward. And so for the all-in-one messenger, the top line is
Stay connected.
Stay connected to friends and family. And so what that means is now people see that and they're like, oh, the all-in-one messenger really helps me, no matter the platform I'm on with all of my relationships, stay connected with all of them. So we do that over and over and over with all of our different features. And we saw as we slowly evolved the website over a couple iterations that we moved to this values-based instead of features-based messaging. And every time we made an adjustment in that direction, people who visited the website would stay longer, they would join the mailing list, and even some people would join the beta.
Yeah.
So we were really finding that as we honed in our messaging, it really actually had an effect. And you could measure it, and you could measure the progress, which was something that was very fun to see.
If you are currently at the IC, the Innovation Center in Reno, you could possibly get a glimpse of all of our brainstorming ideas on the back of a certain whiteboard. I can't tell you where that whiteboard is because it's part of the mystery. But if you see it, you're going to see a lot of our just brain dump of ideas.
Yeah, that's what we did. There was a one specific session that was like, all right, how the heck does this need to be communicated? Brain dump session, whiteboard, get you a whiteboard. It really helps.
It really does. And the thing was, it's hard because we are so deep in it. We see the features. We automatically see the values ourselves, but we can't express it just because we're so deep in the features.
Yeah.
That's what we're working with day in, day out. And one does ICP interviews, so these customer persona interviews that we've been doing, also pushed heavily by gBETA, which was super helpful. Really helped us nail down our messaging. It kind of proved everything we were saying. So it's what are their words that they are using to where we can utilize that information for ourselves. So staying connected with friends and family is something that people brought up over and over and over again. Like, well, this is an important value that we provide, so we should probably include it in the messaging.
At this point, we made a very core North Star that we're trying to provide through what we're building.
Mm-hmm.
But the edges of what that looks like in practice and the words that we use to communicate that to people, it's all driven by people that are not us. It's driven by people who this phone is for them, and so they'll tell us the answer engine might make sense this way. Or when you're communicating the answer engine to me, say that it gives me information in a non-distracting way. Don't tell me it's an answer engine. So we do that for all aspects of Sleke.
Yeah, so being able to change all our messaging around that. In addition, we had a bunch of media mentions. We were on a podcast, Scroll Sanity. We were working with the biggest influencer in the Dumbphone market, Jose Briones. He did a YouTube short about us, as well as a couple of Dumbphone comparison videos with other Dumbphones in the market. So he released a couple of those about us. We were mentioned in the videos, so those helped. Initially, they weren't converting as much, but now with all of this marketing changes, we've seen a bigger conversion number, which is super exciting. Going into, I mean, the sales we've been having, we went from 30 people, or we went from 100 people down to 30 people for our beta test, and this is because one, staying in constant communication with everybody is a lot of work. And we want to be able to build as succinctly as possible with the users.
Just to clarify, 100 people down to 30 people is not like we said, hey, stop beta testing. This is the size of our beta. This is how many we're shooting for. On May 4th, we started with 0 beta testers.
We're up to 20.
We're up to 20 now.
Very exciting. We just want to build with everybody as succinctly as possible and provide the best experience for our users, and really trying to find these main evangelists who are really down for the cause, who really see the benefit. And that's because, I mean, the hardest thing we've been dealing with is people get what we're doing. People want it. But finding people who want it and people who are willing to try early stage tech, two different things. So that's been our biggest disconnect, is how can we find the best of both worlds? And we've now found that kind of niche and been reaching out with them, talking with them as much as possible, and people are really appreciative.
They're so stoked.
And that's what we want to provide, that experience. It's like, this is cool because you're working with us to make this for X, Y, Z, and other. Because it's not just for us. We're building this for everybody, for the end user. Is it going to be for everyone? Absolutely not. We don't want it to be that. We want it to be for people who really are doing what they can to provide the best experience for themselves, as well as they want to be intentional with their time. So we want to give them a tool that helps allow them to be intentional with their time.
And we've refined our messaging down so much that we scoop up those people to say, this is a phone that is going to help me be more intentional. And maybe we just got lucky, but these people also right now almost seem more stoked that they get to contribute. And that they're like, oh, I just got an email from someone that signed in their email signature co-founder. Whoa, bottom level. This is so cool. So it's like they almost forget about whatever the phone is, what we're actually building, and they're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm Bob the Builder, you know? This is awesome.
And being
So,
be able to provide them with a connection.
yeah.
And Jose, so one of our testers needed a specific app, and
Yeah.
he's been shouted out multiple times from Jose. And what's cool is this guy's been watching Jose for a long time.
Yeah.
And being able to provide, he's like, yeah, I got shouted out by Jose. Like, I don't know what to do with this information. It's so exciting. So being able to provide these opportunities for people and just get them juiced and like show and give them a realistic way to interact in a heavy technical world.
Yep.
You know, in a way we can do it in a non-distracting environment. That's what we're trying to provide.
Yeah.
We're trying to provide people an opportunity. And it's been cool because working with people is the only way we can give them the best product out there.
Yep.
Is working with them as much as possible. And we do have our own little setbacks. One is currently this beta update that's been a pain.
Yeah, this beta update. We've been trying to get it across the finish line for a month and a half now. And needless to say, we're still trying to get it across. It's going to be done by the time August 1st rolls around and stuff rolls out. But there are a couple testers that wanted to get in early that we just, they're very near and dear to our hearts. We've known them for a very long time. So what we did, instead of giving them a beta image, we're using the alpha version right now. So we just put them on the alpha version. So there is a way forward. It's not the end of the world, but technical setbacks are never fun, are they?
Welcome to early stage tech.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, needless to say, it's been a crazy couple months, and it's only going to get crazier, which is exciting.
I think, yeah, we're still having fun.
Yeah.
We're still progressing forward, and we're really starting to see the fruits of our labor. And even though it's early, we are seeing an effect it's having. It's having on others.
Yeah.
And hope it's infectious.
Yeah.
Because we just want to have a good time, and hopefully be able to provide some value in the process. Which I think, even with the general idea and the idea of people using it, they seem to be getting a perceived value.
Yeah.
And they're not even using it yet. So
yeah,
it's going to be excited to have people using it and be able to get that value.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. You're right. They're not even using it. I think they're probably feeling the vibes that we're trying to put out, like the do cool stuff, the ethos and the message we're trying to send. So it's kind of cool that we're building both at the same time because both are important.
Yeah, and I think for us, providing a way for people to still love life and get back into life and do stuff is what we really want to convey. Like, yeah, you're not going to have XYZ on your phone.
Yeah.
We're optimizing the phone experience so you don't need that. And part of that is going to be, all right, what cool stuff is in my area? What can I do? It's like, just do what you want.
Just do what you want to do. Get out there.
If you want to read a book in the park, read a book in the park. If you want to go mountain biking, go mountain biking. If you want to do a little bit of crocheting, do some crocheting.
Go for it.
You want to bake some bread? Bake some bread.
Break some bread. If you crochet and if you make bread, make sure to send some our direction.
Yeah, we'll test.
A little beanie and a little sourdough, never hurt nobody. But speaking of cool stuff, be sure to also check out the Founders Files that we're putting out this week. We're having Jessica Halsey on, that Austin mentioned before.
Yep. She's the one who led our cohort for gBETA, as well as just does a lot for the ecosystem as a whole.
Yeah.
And Reno area. So I'm excited to talk to her about accelerators.
If you're interested in our journey, or you are somebody in our shoes and you're following along with this just to say, oh, I'm on a similar path, I want to know a little bit more about what the pre-accelerator venture track looks like, tune into that video. It's sure to be a summer blockbuster.
Or if you want to learn, just learn. We're finding this is a very niche thing, as being a founder deep in the company. So a lot of people don't know about accelerators, VCs, any of that.
Yeah.
So just showing that side of how things are being built on the back end that somebody might not know about is really exciting.
Yeah.
Giving you a little insight, a little sneak peek.
So tune in. Thank you for watching this episode of Sleke Speaks. We are going to do our best to be more consistent in the future, take you along in our journey, and keep on keeping on.
See you next month.
Peace.
Peace.